I want to ask, because we're all living in this country together and we see how things are. So I'm guessing that diversity in the Nigerian sense, because we don't have different races technically. We do have people of different races that are Nigerian, but originally we're a black people. The race here is predominantly black people. So the question of black and white is not exactly a strong conversation in this part of the world, but abroad that is like the key to their own diversity struggle, including people of all races, of all walks of life, pretty much, into the workforce. But in Nigeria here, I would say that we have tribes instead of races.
Yeah,
So
tribes.
is that a conscious struggle of DEI? Is that something that DEI tries to push forward, that people from the West, people from the North, people from the East, they are all duly represented within the organization? There is no favoritism that comes into play when you want to choose an employee. You say, oh, he's living in the North, I don't want him to. All those reservations that people have created, those stereotypes people have created. I'm guessing that's something that DEI should work against, right?
As you were speaking, you were trying to say, oh, maybe the Nigerian DEI. It reminded me of this thing when they say Nigerian feminist. There's a different kind of feminist that a Nigerian feminist. I mean, that's just by the side. So yes, in the concept of tribalism, which is what we have in Nigeria, you can't call anybody a racist because we're all within the same race. So what are we doing as part of the things that we talk about in our recruitment process? You will never see anybody checking, this person is a Yoruba person. No. Again, because our recruitment conversations are very inclusive. So we are getting a large pool of people in our panel sessions in our CBI. So assessors are multiple assessors. You're not having just one person making a decision. Okay, I want this person, hire him, bring him. No, I don't want this person. It's not up to you alone. So that there are several, processes and stages. It also reminded me of a conversation I was having with my boss, Tammy. And I realized that people who have been exposed. So again, when you talk of racism, outside of Nigeria, people who are very racist are people who don't have a global mindset. So they've not been exposed to interacting and relating with people from other cultures. As a person, as a Nigerian, which is what my boss was saying, if you're well traveled, you've lived in the East, you've lived in the North, you've moved around, you've even lived outside of Nigeria. There's something it does to your thinking. You are more open, you are more accommodative, you're more tolerative of people who don't speak your language, who don't look like you, who, when they're talking, you can't understand what they're saying. Because you understand that there's more to your tribe. There's life outside your tribe. There's life outside of your state of origin, where you come from and all.
Yes.
And then she was saying, because of that, I mean, I've traveled around. I've worked. I schooled in the North. I've moved around. It helps me understand that when I'm recruiting for my team, or even when I'm part of recruitment conversations, there's no conversation around this person is not Yoruba, or this person is not Igbo, or this person is not this. We're open. So it's something that, hiring managers, line managers, you're not going to start hating on a member of your team just because they don't speak your language or they're not from your tribe. When you hear things like, so I mean, just for the fun of it, you hear things like, I'm on Alile. I just said that. So for example, it's an unconscious thing that some people have in their, because you just feel like this person is not my person. So, I mean, I'm not going to bend over backwards for them. I'm not going to, make sacrifices for them. The point is, we are a team. Let's bring it to the organizational balance. We are a team. We're here to get the work done. We are here for a reason. It doesn't matter if you speak my language. We're not even speaking our language in the organization to start with. So we're not even speaking vernacular to start with. We are speaking the general language of the country, which is English. So can we converse in our general language and get the work done? It shouldn't matter if your name is Nkechi and my name is Omotola and your name is Hassan or your name is Abu or your name is Kemi. we should all understand why we're here. What is the vision, the goal we're trying to achieve, and what's my part in that vision? Now, my own part as a team, what is our collective effort? What is our collective responsibility in helping the organization achieve its goals and objectives? That should be the only conversation. You know, and I wish more and more organizations would understand this and drive this. Because you enter some organizations and you see that, oh my God, everybody is a certain tribe. They only hire from a certain tribe. And it's just appalling. And you're wondering, so if somebody didn't have a particular talent or skill that you were looking for, you would rather hire. So
they wouldn't hire at all.
So would you rather hire someone that didn't have the skill because they're a member of your tribe? You know, so I know that generally in Nigeria, we are not very much. So let's not even start talking about politics. But we know what happened in the last. A lot of people that were favoring a particular candidate because it was their tribe. It has always, every 4 years, we go through that. The country is divided and everybody's saying, no, this is my person. So we know that within our country, we have a long way to go when it comes to embracing diversity in tribe. But it is my hope that more organizations will not get into that space and lose out on the opportunities, on the value, on the potentials that it can gather, just if they were more open to more people.
Yeah. The ripple effect of stuff like this, right, of not upholding DEI, for instance, is that it becomes transgenerational, honestly. It's a thing where it can pass from generation to generation. So you may be creating a cycle of unbreakable
patterns.
Yes. That are just destructive. Cycles. They're just destructive. There is no benefit to not giving a person a shot because they are not this or because they are this. Do you think they are qualified for the job? Even when you don't think they are qualified, do they show promise? Because I know that there is a beginning stage for everybody. You don't hire somebody on their first job and expect them to deliver like the CEO of the company. They will start from somewhere. That's also a part of this conversation. It's also giving opportunities to starters to progress and grow. There's something I always tell my sisters when we're talking, that there's no work you give me that I will not do. Provided it's work and I can learn it, it can be done. There is nobody, I don't feel like there's any work that is too much for somebody. People can decide that, I don't want to do this. That's a choice. But to say that the innate ability is not there at all, I don't think we can determine that. People can learn stuff. People can build on a skill. They can just hone that skill and become experts at it. That's really how talent can flourish, right? Some people are better than others at executing certain things. That's undeniable. But give people a shot nonetheless. Whether or not you feel like, this person cannot, you cannot really say that they can't. It's not in your place to determine whether they can or can't.
Absolutely.
Right? It's something that you have to make sure that all the processes that they're going to go through to prove themselves are equitable, right? In a way that you are giving them the fairest platform to make a case for themselves, to show that they indeed can do these things, and to show that they can be an asset to your company, to your organization, right? And it also goes beyond the workplace. It's in our personal relationships. It's in our political thinking. Yeah. It's in every facet. You think about everybody as being the same. You don't automatically feel like you're better than somebody, or you are more able to deliver than another person. It's not in your place to make that pronouncement, really. It's not in your place. Everybody has to put DI in front of their thought process, right? Just to make sure that they're building a habit, building something that becomes second nature, even, right? It's something that can be learned, and in good time, right? If we're able to build a network of people that understand this concept, it's going to change our society at large for the better. It goes beyond work. It's going to change us for the better. I told you guys that this session is going to be very, 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 very thrilling. And I'm sure you've learned a lot. I'm so sure. And I'm sure that if you are a starter, maybe you just started your own business, you just started your own company, stuff that Omotola has shared today would be very helpful to you in making decisions about hiring. Because I'm sure Omotola will agree with me that your business is only as successful as the people.
Absolutely.
It's only as successful as the people. If you hire people based off vibes, it's just vibes. There's no, you don't have a structure, you don't have the mindset of, oh, I want people that can think about things in different ways. If you have a limiting mindset, you may not get the best of your organization, you may not get the best of your people. So it's best to make sure that you provide and that you promote the employment and the representation that is necessary to make things work. Right? I think
absolutely.
I think
You're spot on, Favor. To add to that, let's be careful of stereotypes. Stereotyping is the biggest threat to diversity. So when we're speaking about tribes and tribalism, that thing where you just have a bias, you just have a stereotype in your head that Igbo people are like this, Yoruba people are like this. This is what blocks your mind from seeing, from having an open mind, from giving that benefit, giving an opportunity to even hear or to even listen to what is possible in the balance. So stereotype, I just thought to throw that in. Let's be careful of our stereotypes, because we if we just generalize and believe this is how everybody is, we are losing out on a lot.
I feel like stereotyping is so funny, because do you really think that maybe they packed everybody from one tribe, both the ones that are unborn too, they packed all of them into one room and started teaching them
this is how to behave.
That's not how it works. People are individuals, right? And I always attribute characters, good, bad, to the individual. Because as much as, yes, backgrounds and cultures shape people, right? I agree. There is a role that it plays, but it is not the sole factor to determine, oh, this is why this person is this way, because they're from here or they're from there. Do you get it? And okay, let's even say that's why I'm Igbo, but they gave birth to me in Lagos, and I've lived in Lagos all my life. I know Lagos more than I know my village. But people will still say, oh, this is how Igbo people behave. You guys it's conflicting information now. It doesn't now add up again, because how does it was not, I was not raised in my hometown. So I wasn't surrounded by people from my hometown. So how is it that I was born and raised here, but you still think that I have the character of people that I don't even stay with them? It doesn't add up. It's just a thing of the mind, right? And it's also it's just a divisive tool. It doesn't help promote unity, and it just helps you. It just makes you underrate people, makes you lose out on relationships, makes you lose out on friendships, and it's not necessary. Really, it's stuff that should be done away with. And this is why certain networks in businesses like Sterling Holdco, in businesses that take things like this very seriously, they make sure that they push out these programs, these initiatives that promote the inclusion of people all over the company-wide. It's stuff that everybody has to key into, because like I mentioned earlier, there must be a communal purpose. Everybody has to understand. It's not just the job of HR to say, oh, maybe they'll print flyer and tell you DI means this. It goes beyond the flyers of advising you to actually practice DI. It now goes into the workings, the actual day-to-day inclusion of everybody, the equity, the belonging. That is practically the whole story of what DI should be, and what amazing HR professionals like Omotola, that's what they're pushing, right? And we honestly want everybody to key into this idea so that we can create better workspaces, better workplaces for everybody. I'm sure everybody will be happier if we all embrace this concept. yeah, so I think this is a good point to let Omotola go. We can keep her here for a longer time, but I'm sure she has a lot of business to get to. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Omotola. It's
Thank you,
been a
Favor.
wonderful conversation. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I followed through with this because I'm more than impressed. I've loved today's episode so much because it's so relatable and you made everything very simple.
But I had a great time. Thank you for the conversation, and I'm super, what's the word? Blown away. I mean, the way that you carried the conversation, it's super interesting. Thank you for being good at what you do.
Thank
And I
you.
look forward to more of this. I followed the
Thank you.
podcast. I mean, and of course, as much as I'm a viewer of the amazing work that you're doing, I'm excited to be here. Thank you
Thank you
for
so
the
much.
opportunity
Thank you. Thank you.
to be a part of this.
Thank you. So we're definitely going to leave out a means to reach out to Omotola to ask her questions because I'm sure a lot of people have questions for her. She has so much knowledge that it's going to be unwise not to ask questions, especially when you have the opportunity to. So we'll leave out information to ask her all your questions and share your thoughts on the episode in our comment section. She'll be reading all the comments. She's going to watch this episode, I'm sure. She's a viewer, so she's going to watch this particular episode and we cannot wait. We absolutely cannot wait to see how much you're going to love this episode. So we have to go now till our next episode. See you guys, and don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video. Our channel is Cafe One Pod, CAFEONEPOD, and our social media Cafe One Nige, CAFEONENIG. See you in our next one. Bye.